Okay, and then when you're ready, we are going to lie down. So you might need a block for a little bit later on, but you can grab one if you've got one. Just kind of have it handy. So a comfortable lying position when you're ready, just any position that suits you. Maybe closing the eyes, just find a comfortable position, and we'll just start to notice our breath, so just breathing in and out through your nose. Maybe making the inhale a little deeper. Lengthening the exhale. Allowing the breath to be smooth and thorough. As your breath starts to even out, noticing your body, any areas of tension you might feel, so you can release that a little bit more. Start to feel the support of the mat beneath you. Allow your body to be heavy. Today's class is called Returning Home. It's really the idea of our body as our home. And embodying yoga practice means that we try to honor our body and make sure we're not doing anything too much, taking care of it through our yoga asana, and just observing how it feels the whole time. So we're going to start to move a little bit. If you can just do it from where you are, you might want to widen your feet just a little bit. And all we're going to do is you're going to move your feet side to side, but in essence, you're moving your whole leg side to side. So as you inhale, we're just going to drop the baby toes kind of out towards the sides. And then as you exhale, bring your toes back to the center. Maybe you take your big toes towards one another a little bit without straining or pushing it. Again, on the inhale, just allowing the legs and the feet to drop out to the side. And on the exhale, just drawing them back in. Start to bring in a little bit of movement into the body, starting to link our breath to our movement. So not running out of breath and also not having extra breath at the end of the movement. When you're ready, come back in towards the center. I'm going to introduce the arms. You might want to move your feet. If you move them wide, bring them to hip distance apart. And then this time as you inhale, you're going to point your toes away, but at the same time, you're going to stretch your arms up and overhead. As you exhale, we'll bring the feet up. We're going to flex the toes towards your shins and the arms come back over. So do that again. So inhale, start to reach the arms, start to stretch through your feet, toes pointing away. And exhale, bringing the feet all the way back up and flexing them. So again, just moving and breathing. Consciously breathing, so aware of the breath, aware of the movement. We're trying to synchronize our breath and our body. Okay, we're going to do that once more, so just take your own time. When you're ready, as your arms come back over, you just start to bend the knees, and then you can draw your knees in towards your chest. I'm going to stretch a little bit through your hamstring now. So we're going to take the hands behind the back of your right thigh, and then your left foot can just simply be placed back down to the ground. So start to draw your right knee in, and if you'd like to start to extend your right leg up towards the ceiling, but again, without forcing it, just see how the muscles feel quite early on. So if you want a little bit more here, you can stretch your left legs along the mat and then lift your upper body up off the ground. So we're coming more into our core here. Maybe move your hands up the back of the leg a little bit, just see how it feels. And the upper body lifts. And we start to brace a little bit through the center of your body. So you want a little bit more here, you're going to flex through your right foot, but you're also going to extend your left leg so it lifts off the ground and flex through your left foot as well. Both of your feet are flexed and you get that idea of really bracing through the center. And then if you want a little bit more than that, we're going to stretch your arms along your sides so the palms are facing up. Still keep breathing through that, engaging through the center. Let's take one more inhale. And then slowly release, bringing your right knee back in towards your chest. As you do that, we're going to come in for a half happy baby here. So your right knee can go a little bit out to the right. And maybe you just flex your foot and take your right hand behind the back of your thigh. If you want a little bit more, move it up so it's behind the back of your calf. Or if you can reach, you could take it to the inside or the outside of your foot. So kind of drawing the knee in, but it's also moving out to the side a little bit to stretch through the hip flexor, side of the hip. But without forcing, and if you feel that you need to bend into your left leg to keep your hips down, then do that as well. Okay, when you're ready, slowly release your foot, but keep your right knee in towards your chest. This time using your left hand, start to move your right knee over to the left. So as you inhale, just start to roll over a little bit to the outside of your left foot. And then as you exhale, just come back in towards the center, so rolling over your hip again. Do that again, so inhale, start to move over towards the left. Exhale, back into the center. Now this time as you come over, we'll stay over, so we'll move in to the left side, maybe using your left hand a little bit more to press that thigh down. Stretching your right arm away and look along it. When you're ready, slowly back into the middle. Draw both knees in. This time, both hands behind the back of your left thigh. And place your right foot on the ground. Start to slowly stretch the left leg up. So when you get there, if you want to, you can stretch your right legs along the mat. Maybe start to lift the upper body and move the hands further up the leg. So lifting your chest, drawing your belly in. And then if you want a bit more, flex through the left foot and also flex through the right foot, but lift the right foot a little bit off the ground. And then for a little bit extra heat here, stretch your arms along your side, so palms facing up, both legs stretching and extending. Let's take one more inhale. When you're ready, slowly release, so draw that left knee in towards your chest. And coming into that half happy baby, move your left knee over to the left, take hold of your thigh, your calf, or your foot, and start to draw it in. You can even use a strap here if you want to as well. If you desperately want to get to your foot, but you don't necessarily have to. When you're ready, slowly release the knee a little. And then using your right hand this time, so just on top of that knee. As you inhale, start to move over towards the right, so just drawing the knee across. And on the exhale, just coming back into the center. And just following your own breath. And this time we'll come all the way over. So just take your time, move it all the way over towards the right. Using your right hand for a little bit extra pressure there if you want. Put your left arm away. When you're ready, slowly back towards the middle. So drawing your knees in towards your chest. We're going to come up now, so you can either roll over onto your side or using your hands behind the back of your legs, just rolling forwards and back a few times. And then with bench to lay, we'll come up, so just take your time. So moving around to all fours when you're ready. And if you do want to use blocks here, just make sure they're handy for you. So onto your hands and onto your knees. So a few cat cows here. So on the inhale, just drop the belly and go forward. And on the exhale, just rounding in. Again, starting to move through it. Then when you're ready, make your way back into the center. And as you come in, we're going to draw the belly in. Now, from here, we're just going to lift and lower your right leg to the side. So as you inhale, just start to lift the right leg just a little bit. You have to lift it high. And then exhale, lower down. Keep your hands pretty even as you do that. So just lifting and lowering. And if that's enough for you, stay with that. If you want a little bit more, lift your right leg up and then just very gently start to circle it around. Start to mobilize a little bit through the right hip. See how it feels. When you're ready, changing, go the other way. So again, moving and breathing, but really trying to match it here. Make our way to the center. We're going to step forwards with your right leg now. So just step it up towards the top of your mat. So as you get there, using your hands, you slide back a little bit more to your left leg. Try and make sure your knee is over your ankle on that front leg. And use blocks if you prefer on your hands. So we're going to come in for a twist. We'll keep the left hand down onto the block or the floor. Right hand onto your knee to rotate the chest, or if you can lift up through that right arm as well, just opening up to the side without straining or forcing anything. See how it feels. If you want a little bit more here, you can tuck your toes under, so on that left leg, and just lift your left knee up off the ground. Again, notice how it feels for you. Okay, when you're ready, slowly release, so the right hand back to the mat. So if you've not already tucked the toes under on that back leg, then do that now. And then we'll step back to a plank position. When you get there, lower your knees to the mat, and then move forward and bend your elbows and lower your chest down. As you inhale, draw your shoulders back, so lifting up, just a little baby cobra. And on the exhale, just slowly release all the way back down to your mat. As you inhale, press yourself up, so coming into an all fours position, your knees in. Now from here, we're going to come in and do a little deer pose. So your right leg is going to come forwards. So just in front here, you can sit onto your right hip first if that makes it easier. So the right knee comes in front, and the knee and the ankle is in line with that right knee. And then your left leg is going to be in line with the side edge of your mat if you can. Again, you need to just adjust it and see how it feels. You might use a block here underneath your left hip if it feels really high. But again, just see how it feels for you. And then stay upright if you'd like. Or if you feel that you want to, move forwards. But again, just check it out and see how it feels in your hips. If it's too much, then stay more upright. If you feel it opens up for you, as you breathe into it, then lower yourself down a little. See if you can release into it. So the idea with our return to home practice is treating the body as our home. And you know, if we're thinking about it, when you're thinking about your body, you should treat it as you would a friend. So the same kind of principles and qualities apply. So, you know, love and trust, respect and compassion, we need to apply these qualities to ourselves as well. And often we kind of don't. We're more kind of on the negative end of the scale, trying to really just, rather than be negative about what we can't do, being positive about what we're able. And we're going to take one more inhale. We'll start to move up, so just take your time, move up onto your hands, and then we're going to swing your left leg round, but we're just going to come into Baddha Konasana, but quite a generous version of it. So you can move your feet a little bit further away, as far forward as you want to here. So upright onto your sit bones. If you want to, you can just fold forward, so just take hold of your feet. If you do want to, you can also take your hands underneath your legs, and then they come out and then come up on top of your feet. And it's really personal preference, so what feels right to you. You can release into it a little bit more as well. So noticing where you're feeling tension. Maybe directing your breath towards that area. When you're ready, slowly start to make your way back up. So walk your hands back. Now from here, we're going to come into an upward plank. So if you bring your feet out in front of you, you could just take your hands so the palms face towards your hips, and then just very gently just lift the hips up. You can always place them down again. So you're just kind of checking it out and seeing how it feels. You might want to hold that. If you want a little bit more, you could walk your feet further forwards and then move your hips up more, so you come into this kind of reverse tabletop. Or if you could manage, you could stretch your feet all the way away and then push up so your legs are straight and the hips lift high. But then just see how it feels. We'll not stay here for terribly long. Let's take 2 more breaths. And last one. And slowly release all the way back down again. From there, bend your knees and just swing them behind you. We're just going to come back to all fours. So we're just going to do this on the other side. So coming back into this all fours position, we'll spread the hands under your shoulders and knees under your hips. If you don't want to come in and take a few cat cows here, please do. You could drop the belly again and arch your back. So we're just going to do that little sequence on the other side. So we're going to start with into that neutral spine again, and we're going to lift up through your left leg. So just lift and lower first. Just check out how your hip feels. So you inhale, lift up, and exhale to lower. And if you feel you want to circle it round, so lift it up first, and then just very gently circle. And just checking in with the hips. Making sure that the arms are evenly balanced. We're not leaning over to that other side. And keep the weight even. Change direction when you're ready. Okay, we'll do one more of these. When you're ready, come back into the center and then step forwards with your left leg this time. So once more as you come forward, maybe use your hands to slide back a little bit, using a block or placing your right hand onto the ground left hand on your knee, or opening up to the side. And without force, so we're not pulling the arm back or forcing anything, we're just opening up and seeing where it takes us. If you do want to tuck your toes and lift through your right knee, then lift it up off the ground. Okay, when you're ready, slowly release that hand down. So if your knee's not lifted, if you lift it now, step back to plank, lowering down when you're ready. So knees first if you like, or just bend your elbows. When you get there, release your toes, and on the inhale, start to draw the chest up again. Exhale, lower back down. As you inhale, we'll start to push up, so just make your way up onto that all fours position. So we are going to come in and do the other side on that little deer pose. So you can have a little seat on your left hip and draw your left knee forwards. So as you draw it forwards, again, try and align your knee and your ankle, maybe flexing a little bit through your foot as well, just to protect the knee. And then bending in through that other leg to a comfortable position. Use a block if you need to. So again, you can stay upright or you can move forwards. And maybe on one side it's a little bit easier than the other. So our hips are notoriously not the same on either side. So you just work where you can, where it feels best. Using the same qualities of compassion, love, trust, that you would if it were a friend. When you're ready, slowly start to move back up again, so take your time. Again, we're going to swing that right leg round, coming in for Baddha. This time I'm maybe a little bit closer in with your heels if you can, but again, just see how it feels to you. As you move your heels closer, you might then be able to use your elbows to gently press the knees open. And if you want to start to use your feet here, we try and kind of open the feet up. So if you can imagine that your feet are like a book, we try and kind of peel them apart so that the outside edges of your feet are together and then the sole of your feet is exposed. And the reason for that is to try and, if we can do that, then the hips open even more. But again, we have to just work with what we've got and what it feels like. But practicing it can help, so you can try that. And maybe you start to release the upper body a little and relax your shoulders and relax your head a little. Use your breath to move in. When you're ready, slowly start to come back up. So again, we're going to come into that reverse plank once more. So you take your feet in front of you, hands behind, fingers facing towards your hips. Either with the legs bent again, lift your hips, or move forwards, lift the hips again, a little bit higher, or all the way forwards, whatever feels right. Start to move into it. So without forcing yourself to be somewhere, you can challenge yourself, which is slightly different than forcing. Okay, let's take one more inhale. Slowly release all the way back down. And then from there, again, bend your knees and swing your legs round and make your way back into that all fours position. So as we come in this time, we're going to come into our first downward facing dog. So start to spread your hands and tuck the toes and lift your hips up and back. As you come into it, maybe move through your feet and your legs, so pedaling them out a little, or move your hips. Any little movement that feels right to you at this point. Now from here, we are going to move up towards the top of your mat. So you can lift your heels up, looking forwards, either step or walk up. When you get there, fold forwards just for a moment and bend your knees. And you can even use your block here if you'd like as well, just to, it feels like it supports your back more. As you inhale here, we're going to lengthen through your spine, so move up halfway. On the exhale, fold back in again. As you inhale, we'll reach up, so rising all the way up. And then just bring your hands together, just in front of your heart. Just for a moment, maybe closing the eyes. See how all that feels. Let's release the hands and open the eyes. So we're going to come in for Utkatasana. So if you do want to separate your feet a little bit, you can, or keeping them closer together. So when you're ready, and on an inhale, we're going to bend the knees and reach the arms, just coming into chair pose. We'll stay in this chair pose for a moment. So in chair, if you've got your feet together, then squeeze your knees closer. But if you've got your feet apart, then the knees kind of squeeze out the way a little bit, so we engage through the inner thighs and the legs stay pretty firm. Now take another inhale here. As you exhale, we're going to fold. So just take your time and move down towards your legs. On the inhale here, lengthen through your spine, so moving up halfway. Exhale, folding all the way back in. And on the inhale, bend your knees again. Come back into that chair. Exhale, press to stand. Let's do that again. So inhale, bend the knees, reach the arms. Exhale, fold. Lengthen on the inhale. Folding forwards on the exhale. Inhale, bend the knees, reach the arms. Exhale, press to stand. Let's do that once more. So inhale. Folding forwards on the exhale. Lengthen your spine on the inhale. Fold back in on the exhale. Inhale, bend your knees, come to chair. We'll stay in chair this time. We're going to come in and do a little bit through our balance. So with a half chair. So if you bring your hands just towards the center of your chest. So we're going to stand on your right leg, keeping the weight in that, belly in. And then maybe just lift your left heel up off the ground. So transferring your weight into your right leg more. And then maybe lift your left foot up off the ground. So just checking out our balance. Now for half chair, you can either keep your left foot on the ground. You can lift it up so it's on your shin. Or if you can, we're going to move it up towards the thigh. But again, just check out how it feels. Flex your left foot a little. And maybe start to bend your legs. So just coming in just to where it suits you. Breathing deeply, start to focus your gaze. Nice, steady, expansive gaze. And an even breath. Okay, let's take one more inhale. When you're ready, slowly start to move up. Bring your feet together. And your hands together, and maybe just closing the eyes just for a moment. Noticing sensations in your body, maybe in your breath. When you're ready, release your hands and try the other side. So again, feet together, a little bit apart. Start to inhale and bend your knees again. So coming back into that chair position. Hands towards the center. Start to lean over to the left and maybe lift your right heel up off the ground. Start to peel and lift your right foot. And again, moving into that half chair in any position that suits you. Flex the foot, so we've kind of got that figure four. Bend your knees. Shoulders back and down, chest lifted, belly pulling in. Take one more inhale. Start to move up again, so take your time. Bring your feet together, hands together. Take a moment. We release the hands, we'll open the eyes. We're going to come in and do some standing postures now. So again, you might need a block. We are going to start at the top of your mat. We'll do that half sun salutation with the chair pose to come into. And again, you can work on your balance a little bit there if you want to as well. So come into chair, feet together or apart. And as you inhale, start to bend your knees and reach through your arms. On the exhale, we'll fold, so move forwards towards your legs. And on the inhale, lengthen, so stretch forwards to your spine. Inhale, holding all the way back in again. So we're going to come into that chair, so we'll bend the knees, start to reach up with your arms. Now staying in chair, we'll bring the hands towards the centre. So again, you could lift up through your right heel, so standing on your left leg. Maybe you lift your right foot up off the ground. And we're going to step back to warrior one from here. So just reaching back with that right foot, find the position that you want to be in. You can always adjust it and move into warrior one. So your back foot, toes turning in, you move your left foot further out, shoulders and hips forward. You start to reach up with your arms. And if you do want to bring your hands together and lean back a little bit more, then you can, but you work with what feels right. And often when we do yoga asana, which is familiar to us, it is like coming home. The actual kind of perfect position, the one that's not too much or not too little, should kind of feel like that, should feel fairly comfortable. Sometimes we get too comfortable because we stay in what we always come into, that, you know, it's good to challenge ourselves, but we don't want to be pushing all the time. Let's take one more inhale. Now release your hands. We're going to come into humble warrior. So we're going to take the hands behind your back until your fingers start to open the chest, and then moving forward. So maybe just a little, you can take your chest down, or maybe you can take your shoulder down and release your head. Maybe the arms come over. What feels right to you? So yoga, like many industries, is like, it always shows us perfection. So when we're looking at kind of yoga magazines or websites, it's always somebody doing the most extreme part of the pose. And you know, yoga is never meant to be like that. It was meant to be the experience of the posture is what teaches us, not getting into convoluted positions at all. Okay, when you're ready, we'll move up. So draw your belly in, lifting yourself back up once more. When you come up, release your hands, and as you inhale, we'll reach up to warrior one for one breath. And then opening up to warrior two when you're ready, start to move around. So as you come into warrior two, sometimes we can take a much wider stance, so you can move into it more if you'd like to. Knee over ankle on the front leg. Good. Start to feel as if you could get a sense of opening in your hips and your chest as well. Breathing deeply. Well done. And your gaze steady along that front hand. Maybe just checking out your back arm. Sometimes it does kind of drop down a little bit, and we just want to make sure it's even and our fingertips are stretching. And from here, we're going to come into triangle. So we're going to start to straighten through your front leg. And again, you may hop your back foot in a little bit. Some people like to go a little bit narrower. Start to push away in your right hip and lengthen over the left leg. Start to move in. So with the right arm up, or maybe behind your back, start to open up through your chest. Again, use what feels like the right position for you to get a sense of openness. So through the side of the body, make sure we push that hip away so we can lengthen away from the leg. So we're not necessarily trying to come down to it, but we're actually trying to stretch away from it. When you're ready, slowly start to move up. So take your time, draw your belly in. And from here, we're going to come in for a forward fold, but we're going to keep the legs straight. However, we probably need to hop in quite a bit. So with your back foot, step it in as much as you need to, so that you can then start to rotate round towards the top edge of your mat. And with your left foot, maybe start to move that out to the left, so you've got a little bit more space. So when the shoulders and the hips feel pretty centered, lift your belly and your chest and move forward. So we're just going to lengthen forward today. So you might just bring your hands onto your hips or your thighs. If you do want to, you can definitely take your hands down, but maybe today, take your hands behind your back. So maybe taking hold of opposite elbows, or maybe the fists can press gently together. If you can manage a reverse prayer, then take that as well. But lengthening. So the reverse prayer is just our prayer position that we do at the front, but we reverse it and take it towards the back. Good. Very nice. So keep working the inner thighs. Keep drawing your right hip in. When you're ready, we'll slowly come up. So draw your belly and lift your chest up. As you come up, we're just going to bend into your left leg. So just bending it. And then release your hands towards the mat. And step back maybe a little bit with your right leg. So you come into more of a lunge position. And from there, we're going to come into our lizard lunge. So your right knee gently lowers towards the mat. As you come into this lizard lunge, make sure both of your hands are to the inside of your left foot, and then start to walk your left foot out towards the left. And you might want to turn the toes towards the left as well, so you can pick up the toes and then just turn them out. And if you do want to use a block here, then grab it. Otherwise, stay here, so in a more upright position. Maybe bend your elbows to lower yourself down a little. Or you could always grab a block. And you don't just have to have one block. You could build a little structure of several blocks and rest your forearms on it. And it's not in order to get down, it's more to support the upper body and to allow the upper body to release and the hips to release a little. Okay. When you're ready, we'll slowly come back up. So just using your hands, press yourself up. Get rid of that block if you like. And then from there, turn your toes of your left foot in a little and start to walk your left foot. So it's more towards the center of your hands. And then from here, we'll tuck the toes on that right leg and lift your knee. We'll step back to plank. And we are going to lower to the mat again here. So you can bend your knees, lower them down, or bend your elbows and just lower yourself down. When you get there, you can bring your arms round. Take a little rest there, so just release your head. I'm going to move into Shalabhasana here, so our locust pose. So if you'd like to, bring your big toes towards one another, so the big toes touch. And then see if you can press your baby toes, so the little toe, down towards the mat. As you do that, it kind of gets a sensation of the thighs kind of spiraling out a little. Then from here, move your hands down by your sides, so that your palms are pressing down towards the mat. And as you inhale, start to push on your hands, lift your chest a little bit. If you want to extend and lift the legs, then just reach them behind you. If you want to reach your hands behind as well, just reach them down towards your feet. Just lengthening through the crown of your head and all the way down to your toes. Okay, let's take one more inhale. When you're ready, slowly release everything down. Maybe bring your arms back around and lower your head towards your arms. Okay, let's move back up again. So use your hands just underneath your shoulders. Press yourself up so you're coming up to all fours. Walking your knees forwards. If you want to make any little movements to your hips, please do. You can sway them side to side or circle them round. When you're ready, back into the centre. So we're going to move to our downward facing dog again. So we'll tuck the toes and lift the hips and press back. Again, as you come in, maybe you stay still or maybe you move. It's really up to you. Let's take one more inhale. We'll lift the heels up. So again, looking forwards, either step or walk towards the top of your mat. When you get there, lengthen forwards on your inhale, so stretch your spine. Exhale to fold. As you inhale this time, just reaching up, rising all the way to the top. And exhale, palms meet the heart. So we'll do that on the other side. So again, feet together and apart, come into our chair position. On the inhale, just start to bend your knees and reach your arms. Exhale to fold, so just moving forwards. Okay. Lengthen on the inhale. Hold back in on the exhale. As you inhale, we'll come into chair, so bend your knees, start to reach the arms again. And then bring the hands towards the centre of your chest. So we're lifting up through your left leg, so maybe just your heel lifts, weight transferring to the right. Maybe you can lift your foot off the ground. So we're going to step back again to warrior one. So just take your time. Again, make some adjustments when you get there. Moving your feet further in, turning the toes, and maybe moving your right foot further out. Lift the arms to any positions. If you want to keep them quite wide and relaxed, that's fine. Or palms together and lean into it a little. Bring the balance in your feet, the steadiness in your breath, and a focus in your gaze. When you're ready, release your hands. So we're going to come into humble warrior. So interlink your fingers, open your chest, start to move forwards, just to the way it suits you, where it feels right. So your body will tell you when you get to the position that's either too much or you could go a little bit more. And release the head. Maybe take the arms up and over. Keep the core engaged. And that balance between your feet. Let's move up when you're ready. So again, start to draw your belly in, start to lift up. Releasing your hands when you get there. Reach up for one inhale. And open up to warrior two on your exhale. Take your time, move your feet and your legs, moving into it in your own way. And see what feels right. Good. Relax your shoulders. Okay, let's move into triangle. So we're going to straighten your front leg, maybe hop your back foot in a little bit if you need to. Move it in, push your hip away, lengthen over your right leg, and draw yourself in. Any degrees, you have to go deeper. Think about opening through that bottom side waist, getting space in the upper body. Okay, we'll take one more inhale. Start to move up again, so draw your belly in, lift yourself up. When you get up, just release your hands. So we're going to come into Parasvatanasana again, so that forward folding position. So hop your back foot in quite a bit, straighten both legs, and then turn your hips and shoulders to the front. So if you need to, you could start to walk out a little bit more through your right foot, and you hop your back foot in a little bit. So lift your belly and your chest, start to lengthen, to stretch forwards through your spine. Hands on your hips or your thighs, or maybe take them behind your back again. And if you did have a grip the last time, maybe change it a little bit. So you could have your forearm, your arms, you could take the other arm in front. Again, just see how it feels. Right. Lengthening, and again, watching that right hip doesn't kind of move out to the side, but squeeze it back in. And when you're ready, slowly start to rise. Release your hands, bending into your front leg once more. And then release your hands down towards the mat. Maybe stepping back a little bit with your left leg. So we'll come in for that lizard lunge once more. So lowering your left knee to the mat. Start to walk your right foot out towards the right edge. So maybe picking the toes up and turning them around towards the right more. So hands to the inside, maybe just stay here, or bend your elbows, or grab your blocks again and lower yourself down. Where does it feel right? So the practice of returning home means that we have to be aware of everything that feels, or everything you do feel in your body. So if you're not aware of that, then you can't possibly either be compassionate or be kind of loving towards your body. So having that sense of awareness, and it's the only body we're ever going to get, so take care of it, which you are doing now by practicing, but we just need to make sure we don't go too far with it and overdo it. Now let's start to move up. So just take your time, press yourself back up once more. Again, from there, turn your right toes in, and then just walk your right foot, so towards the center again, so your hands are either side of it. From there, we'll tuck the toes under on the back leg, so lifting through your knee. We are just going to step back with your right leg, but we're going to lower down into child's pose here. So just lower your knees to the mat. Widen them if you'd like, and bring your feet together, and then start to sink your hips back. As you come into this, you can either choose to stretch your arms out, or you can choose to fold your arms over and support your head. When you're ready, slowly start to come back up. As you come back up, we're just going to sit down. So you can just move around to seated position, and then you're going to lie down, so you can just take yourself down onto your mat when you get there. As you lay on your mat, if you bend your knees when you get down there, so your feet are flat onto the ground, and then we're going to keep your left foot on the ground and lift your right leg up. So you're going to flex it, and you're going to take it onto your left thigh. So kind of in that figure 4 position that we came into previously. And then from here, you can either stay here or lift your left foot off the ground. Or maybe you could take your hands behind the back of your left thigh and then draw it in. So just coming into a reclined pigeon pose. You could flex both of your feet here if that felt okay. And the idea is to draw your left knee in more until you feel that stretch on the outer edge of your right hip. Again, you're just moving to a position that feels, or you can feel, and then you can either stay there or you can try and move deeper, but still listening in. How does it feel? We're going to keep the legs crossed, but slowly release your hands, left foot to the mat, and then spread your arms wide. Drop your legs over to the left. Maybe you can place your right foot flat on the ground as you get there, but just see how that feels. When you're ready, slowly back to the center. So release your legs, and you can use your feet here to push and lift your hips up, and then release them down again so they're pretty square. So with the right foot down, lift your left leg up, flex it, and place it onto your thigh. And again, moving in to that reclined pigeon. Lift your right foot, hook your hands, and start to come in. Try and relax your head and your neck as much as you can here. When you're ready, keeping the legs crossed, release your hands, place your right foot down, and spread your arms and move over with the legs towards the right. Left foot on the mat if you can. Your legs back and towards the center. So again, releasing your legs. Draw your knees in towards your chest. If you want to make any final little movements here, then you definitely can. Otherwise, you come into Shavasana. So if you want to grab a jumper, some socks or something, please do that. Just finding a comfortable position. Start to be aware of your breath. If there's one thing that I may tell you, let it be, you are your home. Your body is the only house that you will ever truly own. Maybe it's got some broken windows and there are tear stains on the floors. Maybe you lock the things you wish you weren't behind its many doors. But there is wisdom on its bookshelves and a laugh to light the rooms. There's a vase upon the table where the love you've grown all blooms. Dreams sit on the mantelpiece next to kindness and your trust, where you use them all so often, you have no time to collect dust. So please don't look at mansions with that envy in your eyes. There's more that makes a home than its appearance or its size. Your body is your shelter, so you deserve to love it all. Don't let the world stand round outside and tell you how to paint your walls. How lucky that you have somewhere to protect you from the night. And if there's cracks left from the past, well then, they just let in more light. When you're ready, we'll take an inhale just through your nose and then just sigh it out your mouth. We'll start to move a little bit when you're ready. So through your fingers and your toes. Maybe reaching your arms over your head, just taking a full stretch. As you bring your arms over, beginning to bend the knees and just making any movements that you want. Perhaps rolling over onto your side. We'll start to come up when you're ready. Just take your time. Just finding a comfortable seat. We'll bring the palms together, just in front of your heart. So leaving a little gap just to signify an openness in your heart. So thank you so much for coming along and practicing with me this morning. I hope you enjoyed our returning home practice. Namaste. Thank you very much, ladies. Well done. Enjoyed that. I'll just stop the recording.